Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City, where we want to help you build a Lego city regardless of the space you have. This is part 2 of building a MOC from start to finish, and this is a small post office. If you missed part 1, do check the video in the link in the card above or the description below. And this is where we left off. The only difference I did was to rearrange the lights over here and to add another light. And what I did over here was to have the light so that it's just above the door and above the mailbox over here. So it's kind of a logical placement. Other than that, I haven't done anything else, and that's what we're going to do in part 2. In part 2, we are going to detail the interior, put in furniture, different items that will make sense in a post office MOC, and then I'll detail the outside. I also want to create a 3D sign that just screams that this is a post office. So let's start off with the interior first. As with any modular style building, the roof can be removed just like that. And here we have the interior, and we actually worked out this layout in the first video. What you see over here is basically this private or blocked off area for the postman to sort out mail and then to access the outside where their mail scooters would be. And over here there will be a counter where the staff will be here serving customers. So this is the public area of the post office, and what you see over there is a stamp machine, an automated stamp teller. So what we're going to do first, I think, is to build this particular counter. So it's a service counter, and let's see what parts I have to build this service counter. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create the vertical, the vertical support of the counter, and I'm going to use 2 of these bricks. They're going to form a 1x8 brick, which will be the body of the counter. But what I'm going to do over here, this is a modified brick. I'm going to add 2 jumper plates to the front so that it looks like drawers, and this is where the staff can access stamps or whatever documents they might need, and that will basically go over there onto that black plate. But before I do that, I am going to create a countertop, and this is what I've done. I've got a 2x8 plate over here, and I've placed a 2x2 plate, 2 jumper plates, and a regular plate. So all this would go just like that. And this will be my counter. So this is the side that the staff would stand at, and that's why they have the drawers, and this is where the customers will stand. And this will go right over here, just like that. Now you see that corner over there? I thought it's a perfect corner to put some equipment since it will not be in the way of the staff as they access the staff only area here through this door and over here. So I'm going to create a very short counter. I'm just going to use a block. I could have used a brick, but I'm just using 3 plates stacked together, black as the base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a jumper plate here, because I thought what would be good to place over here would be a weighing scale. If you go to any post office, there's always a digital weighing scale so that you can weigh the packages. So I'm going to create a weighing scale like that. This is a 1x2 sloped brick, but with a printed cash register style front. But this of course looks like a weighing machine as well. And I've got another jumper plate with a stud, and that goes on top. And I think that works as a digital weighing scale. Now the reason why I have a jumper on top is because I want to put a package, and I put together this box over here. So this is really just a 1x2 brick with a 1x2 towel, and there are these fragile stickers on them. And these stickers come from the extra sticker pack. That's why I'm really making use of the extra sticker pack. If you do not have that pack, do not worry. You can just use a regular light tan brick and towel to act as a package. You do not really need the stickers. They're just a nice little touch. And this can go on over here, maybe closer to the wall, so something like that. But I do want to cover these exposed studs, so I'll just use some 1x2 towels over here. Generally, I do like to keep everything as finished as possible, just makes it look better. So that goes there, and this goes over here. So that's a nice little touch, and I think that fits very well for the post office. Now, if you notice, I have a plate over here. That's because I want some kind of a computer. So I've got this setup. This is a hinging plate and brick. Now, the reason I have all these components is because I have a box of pre-built parts for interior designs. So for example, chairs, tables, cabinets. I do have a collection of parts. So I actually pulled the different parts together and kind of redid them just to fit the space that we're working with. I also have a keyboard, of course. So this can go here and that can go right here. And now we have a computer so that the staff can use that to print out documents or help people, I guess, renew driving licenses and whatever you might do at a post office. So there are jumper plates over here. So I'm just gonna put, I think over here, I'll put this envelope as though someone wants to maybe send this. And over on the other side, someone's paying for this package. So let's just put $100. That should cover shipping. Now, what I like to do now is to add some wall decoration. Anytime you detail the interior of a MOC, you do not just want to think about what is the furniture and what's on the ground. You also want to think what's on the wall. So what I want to do is to take this. I've got another sticker here, and this comes from the extra sticker pack. I put it on a 2x2 white towel, and this actually comes with also the cargo terminal set. I guess it's kind of a logistics sort of a logo, but I think this fits well. This just looks like some kind of international shipping. So I was thinking of putting it over here so that people know that this side of the counter is for parcels and you can ship internationally. Then I thought we could have a clock somewhere here as well. So what I need to do is to pull out these plates over here, and I have to put in some modified bricks. And I'll use light gray bricks. I've got 2 over here, but I will need to replace some parts. So let's just break this apart, and then let me put in the modified bricks. Okay, I think that would do some kind of sign just to let you know that's shipping. And we have the clock. Over here, earlier I placed the Wi-Fi towel, and over here I have just a very simple counter. It's barely a counter, it's just some plates and brick. And what I did was to put this orange stud to represent now if you go to a post office, normally they have this little dish with a wet sponge so that you can use it to wet envelopes or stamps so that you don't have to lick them. So that's what that is supposed to be, and that goes into that corner over there for customers. So that works out pretty well. We'll come over here. This, as I mentioned, is the automated stamp teller. We should finish this up. So let's see what we have over here. We can use a 1x4 brick with a towel on top, so that makes it look a bit finished. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have space over here to put something, and we have space over on this side. Now I can't block this area because this is where the post box or mailbox open up. That's where people put it on the outside, and the mailman can access the mail from the inside so that they can package it and get it processed to be shipped. But I want to put some kind of a computer because there definitely needs to be a back office computer. So let's create first some kind of a table, a very simple table. I'll just use a base plate like that and this, and then we'll use this computer. And this particular computer is actually from the Ghostbusters HQ set. That's why it looks a bit old school, but I think it's quite fitting. A lot of equipment in government agencies and post office are a bit retro, so I think that fits. So that will go on there. I will need a 2x2 plate because I'm going to tile the inside of this area, and because it's the service area, I'm going to tile it with light gray tiles. So I need a light gray plate, which I have over here, and that will go on top over here. And just so that I finish this, maybe I can take a plate. Let's see if I have a 1x2 plate, or towel rather. Nope, no more 1x2 tile. I'll place that later, I guess, and that can be placed here for now. So we've got a computer here, there's a little bulletin board here, that works. We should fill up the space here, and I'm thinking of a really long, some kind of a shelf system, because that's where you have to store the mail, right? This is the mail storage room. So I'm going to create a very long shelf using these 1x10 plates. There are also jumper plates and towels on top just to finish it up, and I've got gray studs. So this is the bottommost shelf, and the reason I've got studs here at the end, I'm going to put these telescope parts, and these will be the vertical supports of the shelf system. So let's see what we can put here. Okay, let's put this with a Lego box. Not sure why they didn't wrap it up, but that can be there. We can also take some envelopes, and what I've done here is to take a 1x2 jumper plate, and I've placed a 1x2 decorated stamp towel there, so it looks a bit displaced, a bit staggered, so it doesn't look so perfect. So that looks pretty good. Let's take the second shelf, which is also another long plate with plates and towels on top, and this also goes on either end, so that works out well. And for this side, why don't we take another box? So that's a fragile box, and again we have another bunch of envelopes over here. Or maybe why don't we do this? Why don't we maybe put this here and put this here, and then we'll put this on top for the topmost shelf, and then we can put this package here as though it's some kind of a unclaimed package, and that we can put all the way over here, and that fits almost perfectly. Okay, now that I look at it, obviously I can put this box here because it's too high. That's okay, we will just pull this off and we will exchange places with this over here. So really easily adaptable, and there we have a nice shelf system that looks busy. Now I could detail it even more, but you know what? Really what I want is a symbolic interior. I want to have different items that symbolize what's inside a post office, so that if anyone looks inside, they get an idea of what's inside. So it doesn't have to be full cluttered with packages, because of course in a real post office this will probably be full. There will not be any empty space, but let's just assume that all the mail has been cleared and this is symbolically detailed like that. I think that is enough. Well, let's add another package here, and I can use these. These are 2x2 bricks, light tan, and I've got a towel over here, and I put that same sticker. So there's a upward sticker over here and this fragile sticker on top. And let's just assume that this will go to the side, maybe. It can't block the door, so maybe we can just put it over here as though it's a package just being temporarily stored there. So even though it blocks that mailbox opening, I think it's fine. But we will need to put a jumper plate. So let's look for a jumper plate, and that's just to hold it in place. And we want a 2x2 plate. Okay, I won't press this down yet because I do want to tile the inside, and that will go there, and I can displace it once again because it's a jumper plate. So later I can displace it slightly depending how much wiggle room I have. So that looks pretty good. All right, let's not worry about that now. Let's see what else we can add. You know what? I think since this is a post office, it's a government building, we should have some kind of a CCTV camera. And I think we should put it right here so that it can capture who's coming in and who's using that automated stamp teller. So let's put a modified brick in here. So this is going to be easy. I'm just going to pull this out. So I won't be using this piece. And I've got this modified brick here. That will go in here. And I need a 1x1 brick. That will fill the space over here. And we can put everything back once again. So pretty easy fix there. So this is going to hold a camera, and I've got parts of a camera over here. So this is a camera piece. There's a lens, a red light, and let's have it really old tech. So we'll have some tape here, and this will allow me to clip this over here and I can just point it down, and I think that works. Again, symbolic, at least it's there. People won't dare try anything funny, and we'll just assume it's a wide angle lens. That looks pretty good. The doors need some kind of handles. I could have just gone with round tiles, but I thought I'll do something special, so I'm going to add quite elaborate door handles, and I'm going to use a clip. So this is a modified tile with a clip, the new style, which is curved, and I've got these bar elements with round studs with a hole, and that just fits on either end. Almost looks like a mini dumbbell as well. But what we're going to do is we're just going to use these as decorated handles. So I've got two of them. That goes on like that, and I'll place them on either door like that. And now we have a very nice, ornate, almost grand handle for the doors, and that just looks nice. All right, let's see what we can do. We can tile the interior, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and tile this. For the outside, because this is the public area, I'm going to go with a brighter, more cheerful colors, and I'm going to go with the corporate colors. Since City Mail is what this post office is, it's red and white. I'm going to have red and white tiles here. And for the service area where the staff is, I'm just going to put it all light gray. I'm also going to mix up some jumper plates, and that's just so that I can put minifigs later. So let's do the interior tiling now. And here we have everything done for the interior. We've got nice red and white flooring for the public area, some jumper plates to put minifigs. I think I have to redo that jumper plate over there because the counter's in the way. Easy fix. And over here for the service area, we've got some jumper plates for staff, and everything is tiled, looking really finished. So I think we've done with the interior, save for that changing of that red jumper plate. What I want to do now is to work on the outside. But before I work on the outside, I want to create a 3D sign, and this is the idea I have. So what I had in mind is to recreate the classic envelope to a jumbo size envelope, so that's a 3D sign. Now most people, when they come up with signs for MOCs, I think a lot of times they go with writing out the name and creating the letters in a brick form. I find that kind of an easy way out. There are some MOCs, even official sets such as the Downtown Diner, which is the word diner written out. For the pet store, it's done in a different way. It's plate built, but it's also written out. I think it's kind of an easy way out, and I don't really see a real city having every single sign being brick built, written out that way. So I personally like to recreate three-dimensional objects that are symbolic of whatever business or building it's supposed to represent. So for the post office, to me, this was the most obvious, to recreate the classic Lego envelope but make it jumbo in size. And for that, I'm going to use white plates, some towels, and let's see how I do. So here we have the completed jumbo size envelope. Now I should use a 1x3 plate here. I didn't have that, so I just use a 1x2 and a 1x1. But if you had to recreate this, you would use a 1x3 plate. I think that works out pretty well, and that looks exactly like a giant replica. What I did was to use a 4x8 plate, and then I had another 1x3, 1x2, and then this 1x8 to create basically a 5x9 sized plate. And that's the only way to get the proportions right, and I think it works. Now you can use a red tile as I have done. However, because it's City Mail and I have the stickers, I actually have a red tile with the logo on it, just like that, and it makes perfect sense to have the logo as the stamp, and that is my 3D sign for the post office. Now that I've built it, of course we have to figure out where to put it. Originally I thought of putting it on the roof, but I think that's always done. At least that's a very common way of doing it. So I decided to change things around, and I'm going to do a billboard style post for this sign. And I'm going to use this as the main support, and this we place somewhere here, and I'll attach the sign like that. Okay, but it's not so straightforward because anytime you use one of these supports and you just put it on a base plate, it can be quite easy to topple. So I want to make it more secure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plate the area around it. Got some plates over here, so I'll just do this, and what I'm doing is I'm forming a base around the base of the support, just like that. And then I'm going to add these 1x2 cheese wedge pieces on all four sides of the base of the support. And what this does, it forms almost like a holder. So besides the plate that this is attached to, there's a bit of support now. It doesn't come off so easily. So I think that works pretty well. Now to attach this plate to the top of the support, it's very simple. We use this bracket piece, and that goes on over here. And we want to hold this down in place, so we're just going to put a 1x2 plate so that it's flush. And to hold these two components together, we'll just use a 2x2 towel. So now we've got a 90-degree bracket at the top, so that's really secure. Now I can just press this on, and let's just do something like that. Well, right now it's sticking out, I think, too much out of the plate, but then again, it's also centered. So let's keep this for now because I need to have room for the roof to go on. But there you have, that's the 3D sign. I think that looks pretty nice. So, you can see that sign from the distance, from the front. And of course, you still have one more sign over here. So that works out pretty well. So what I need to do now is to towel the sidewalk, which will be quite straightforward. I will use the dark gray towel all around, but just for the front entrance and maybe the back where the motorcycles will be, because I am going to be placing these motorcycles, the male motorcycles here, and I will use light gray towels for that. So let's see what happens. So what I have decided to do, instead of dark gray towels here, I think I'm just going to follow the red and white tiling here. I think that will look really nice. It'll look like a nice entranceway, and there's continuity with the inside tiles. So I think that makes sense. Now over here, I think there's a bit of a blank space. So I have got a newspaper stand, and this actually came from one of the extra packs as well. And I think this will fit very well if I pop this off and I center it underneath the sign. That can go right there. It makes sense to have a newspaper box or some kind of information brochures outside the post office. So I think that will work, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. What I do need is to fill up the space on either side with a 1x2 towel, and let's finish up the rest of this base plate. So this is what we have. We've got the tiling done on the side over here. I think the continuity for the tiling that goes all the way inside, that really works, and because it's the corporate colors as well, I think that really pops and really stands out, and you can't mistake this for anything else except for the main entrance. We come round over here, and this will be for the scooters. Notice I put a jumper plate here. I'm going to put, let's see, some kind of a gas meter. Well, this, I guess it won't be a gas meter, but this can be an electrical meter since there won't be gas, and that can just be there. And it's again just to give it some detail. Can't even see it. Some detail over there. And I thought this sticker on a towel was really nice. It's a no parking loading zone, which makes perfect sense. And I think originally I thought of putting it on the wall. I guess I could do that. That would make sense. Or I could also clip it over here. That looks pretty nice, but then may distract from the logo or the 3D sign. So maybe it might make sense to put it here. The other option is to do some kind of a sign. So a floor sign. So this is what we could do. Let's just give it a try. So we take 1x2 modified plates with clips and this closed end modified plate, and voila, we have a little sign which we can just put on the floor. I think that works pretty well actually. Maybe we can do that, and then we can just put it here, and we can put a jumper plate. So let's try that. Let's put that here, and let's get a jumper plate. See how that looks. What do you think? Do you think that works? I think that works, at least for now. Let's give it a shot. So let's just put this here, and that can, maybe we can put it somewhere like that. So at least there's space for minifigs to walk by, but you know that there's no way you should park here. And this looks like an obvious parking space just due to the way how this sidewalk is done. So what we need to do now is just to create some mail scooters, or what would you call them? Mailman scooters, post scooters. Anyway, we can't just use red scooters. We need to put a mailbox on top, and I've got a mailbox just like that. Now you can't put the mailbox directly on. You do need to have some kind of a modified plate, or a jumper plate, a 1x2 jumper plate, and then we can put this on, and that looks now like a mailman's scooter. And we can put one here. Well, probably it should be done this way so that they can load the post into that box, and then the other one's exactly the same. And there we have it. Now there's nothing to really hold the scooters down. They're just balanced on the tiles, or on the base plate, or the tile base plate. But I think that works. Let's put back the roof and let's have a look at this particular build. And here we have the assembled post office. I should mention I did add something here. So let me take away this no parking sign, and I was really tired of these scooters falling over because, as I mentioned, they're just balanced on. So this is what I did. I created these clips with bars, so it's almost like a parking space, or really a legit parking space, but these bars attached to the bottom of the scooters, so I can actually lock them in place. But even if the scooters aren't there, it looks pretty legit. It looks like something you might expect to find in a parking area. But in this way, I can actually put the scooters on, lock them onto the bar, and voila, they do not fall over when I move the plate. I'm really happy with that. So this goes back over here. Now, actually, I still need to add something, and that's to the roof, because you can see everything is more or less done, but there's nothing on the roof, and we do just want to detail it a bit. I don't tile my roofs in general because I don't mind giving it a rough look unless there's a specific reason for that. So let's just put the usual items on the roof. We've got an air conditioning compressor over here. Let's just put this maybe here, and we'll put this here. So this is something that I've obviously pre-built, and I have a few designs for air conditioning compressors depending on how big I want them to be, and you can check out the link in the card above or the description below for different builds for rooftops, just to give it a bit more detail. And let me put this is kind of like a air ventilator, and maybe I can put this, yeah, I'll just put this here, maybe more to the front. But I do not want to pull focus for this, so let's put this behind, and this is for the workers' room, just to give them a bit more air. I think that works. So just some simple decoration for the top to give it a detail, and that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to put minifigs. I'm also going to think about some kind of scenes that I'm going to place inside, but I won't do it in this video. I will do a final review of this entire MOC, highlight any changes that I make along the way, add in minifigs, and see what sort of interesting and entertaining scenes we can create with this particular post office MOC. Well, thank you so much for being on this journey. I hope you watched through both videos and you've enjoyed this process of seeing this particular post office being built from start to finish, from an empty base plate to what you see in front of you. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and check out these two videos before you go.